You wouldn't accept Britain being part of a customs union with the European Union. But to just go back to that transition period before we get to the end state, what did you make of the phrase, transition will take as long as it takes?
Well, I think we might like to call it an implementation period because
all right, implementation period will take as long as it takes. How long should it be?
Well, the Prime Minister said two things. The implementation period will be time limited, but if it can be shortened, so be it. So that's what I take it to mean, that if we can do things earlier and it suits us and the European Union to do that.
And if it goes over 2 years, what would you...
because the Prime Minister said it will be time limited.
Yeah, time limited, but it could still be over a 2-year period.
Well, I think the time limited period will be the end of the budgetary period, which will be the end of 2020, which is what the EU wants. If you can do it earlier, fine. If
you were at Chequers now, what would you be saying to the Prime Minister?
I'd be congratulating the Prime Minister on what she's doing, and I'd say to some of the people around the table, be a little bit more cheerful and upbeat about Brexit.
Who?
Let's pull a name. The Chancellor, say. He's such a dour sort of fellow, trying to get all the figures right. He should be much more upbeat and saying, this is the great thing for Britain. I mean, he was the one, I think, coined the phrase, we're all Brexiteers now, so a little bit more upbeat.
Right, if you think the Prime Minister's done very well, why are they holding the summit?
Yeah.
Why are they holding the summit? You know, it's quite a good idea when you have cabinet government to involve the government.
Or get agreement.
Well, and move things on.
Bang their heads together.
No, look, I know we're on the 21st revision of the Labour Party's policy. You can't even tell me what it is.
We've been clear.
No, you've not been clear on anything. And actually, to the credit to Jeremy Corbyn, he's resisted those people that want to try and rerun the referendum. The situation is, what the government is doing, it's hit all its timescales. It's made the first agreement.
So, I was thinking, why the summit then? Why do you need a summit? If it's all going so well, and if there has been so much progress, why is there a summit where ministers are going to be locked in together all day until final agreement is made? Why is that?
It's going to go on late, isn't it?
When you have a cabinet and when you have a sub-cabinet, you go along, you talk about things, and why not do it at Chequers? It's quite a nice house, and give them tea and coffee and they'll be very happy.
Will you be disappointed, Rupert, if Jeremy Corbyn doesn't set out more clearly on staying part of the customs union and single market on Monday? What will you do?
I mean, I've had soundings that there will be some sort of shift. I don't know. I mean,
you've had soundings.
We'll wait and
have you what from the leadership?
At the moment, what we have, because we're not in government, are we? We have the worst of all worlds. So if you're a leaver, the fact that these arrangements are being lengthened and lengthened, I mean, we weren't really that much in the EU in the first place. We were not in the single currency. We were not in Schengen. We were maybe only 60% in. But sort of, it's the worst of all worlds. If you're a Remainer, they've sold out the European principles.
What are the soundings that you've had from Labour that there's going to be a shift?
Well, I think there already has been a shift. So we're opposing the EU withdrawal bill because it gives carte blanche, because it's a ruddy rubbish piece of legislation.
No, you're stopping EU laws being made into effectively British laws to come into effect immediately after we leave the EU. You're trying to block the current legislation from coming in. I mean, that was an absurd position. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. And it was done pure... No, it wasn't. It was done by party political reasons.
Let Rupert respond.
I think there was Lord Carlisle in the Lords said that some of these impact... We're heading into the non-impact assessment.
Is he a Liberal Democrat?
He was a terrorism assessor by this government, and he said that it's a suicide note. Some of these, this non-assessed impact future that we're going into.
So the EU withdrawal is the Labour Party's view is a suicide note.
What we've said is the note you signed, Peter, 62 of your colleagues, that was a bit disturbing.
What, supporting the Prime Minister, telling her she's doing a good job?
It was holding a gun to her head and the whole country's head. And it was quite disturbing that it was actually the government's anti-corruption champion who headed that up. I think that's
all right, we're going to leave it there. And Lord Carlisle is a crossbencher, actually. Now.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's dirty
former Lib Dem, but that's just for clarification. Thank you both very much.
We will make America great again.